I'd been hiding from my mob family for 3 years when a customer told me, "Your cousin says hi." I kept scanning his items like nothing had happened, like my whole body hadn't just gone numb. The customer was already walking away, just a guy in a baseball cap buying a soda. But those words changed everything. Nobody here knew I had a cousin. Here I was Stella, and Stella didn't have family. But before that, I was Isabella Torino, who had dozens of cousins. Cousins who were out for blood ever since I testified against them. I forced myself to keep working, bagging groceries for the next customer, an elderly woman buying cat food. But my mind was racing through escape routes and contingency plans I'd made 3 years ago. They'd found me in this tiny Nebraska town where I'd been stupid enough to think I was safe. My manager Greg walked by and asked if I was feeling okay because apparently I'd been standing there holding a can of soup for 30 seconds without moving. I mumbled something about not enough sleep and continued scanning, but every beep of the register sounded like a countdown to something terrible. 4 more hours left on my shift, and I couldn't leave early without raising questions I didn't want to answer. Every customer who came through my line could be watching me, reporting back to the family about my blonde hair and name tag that said Stella. The man buying a single bottle of water who paid with 100. The woman who kept staring while I counted her change. Were they real customers or scouts sent to confirm it was really me? I thought about running right then, just walking out the door and driving until I hit Canada. But that's what stupid people did, and stupid people ended up in car trunks. The family was patient and methodical, and they'd probably been watching me for weeks before making contact, learning my routines and relationships. They knew about David, the paramedic I'd been dating for 6 months. They knew about my Tuesday night book club and my Saturday morning runs. My hands shook as I handled money and I kept dropping things. Coins scattering across the floor. A jar of sauce shattering in aisle 3. Greg asked if I needed to go home sick, but I said no, because running would make it worse. They knew where I worked now, probably knew where I lived, and panicking would only make me easier to catch. A man came through my line buying zip ties, plastic sheeting, and bleach. And normally that combination would just be someone doing home repairs, but today it made my stomach turn. He smiled at me while I rang him up and said something about the weather, but all I could think about was my cousin Polly, who'd handled problems for the family until he got caught with a body in his trunk. During my break, I hid in the bathroom and tried to think, but my mind kept circling back to what happened to Aunt Marie when she tried to leave the family. They brought her back in a wheelchair, and she never said what they did to her, just sat at family dinners staring at nothing with clouded eyes. That was 20 years ago, and she still couldn't walk, still couldn't speak above a whisper. I splashed cold water on my face and stared at myself in the mirror, at this stranger with badly bleached hair and dark roots showing through. 3 years I'd been Stella. 3 years of lying to everyone about where I came from and why I had no family photos. 3 years of building something normal and quiet and safe, and it was all crumbling because I'd been stupid enough to use my mother's birthday when I created my new identity. 3 more hours of scanning and bagging while pretending my life wasn't collapsing. A customer complained I'd double charged them,